discussing theory. Now let me show you what is encapsulation, and if encapsulation is not there, so what is the problem? And then we'll implement the encapsulation process. And let's take two examples. One is album class. Okay. So one is album class. I'm going to create one album class. So album is all album. So name, author name, number of copies, price. So these are all properties an album might have. So those properties you can define, and I will just take from our blog. Okay, so this is all the album class properties and method. Some methods we defined. Okay. See, these are the public instance variable. Public instance variable we have defined. So we just declared public instance variables. Instance variables. Declaration. So access modifier, data type, variable name. That's an instance variable. Declaration above the methods, below the class, without static keyword. So that's the. So this album class is done. So this one is one method. This is the another method we created. And so these albums are maintained by the stock keeper. So another class, let's create another class, stock keeper class. So stock keeper has a name. Okay. Stock keeper has a name. So, and he is going to manage the album. That's his duty. So he will manage the albums, and that method we are going to write, manage album method we are going to write. So simply, I'm just going to write one constructor. So one variable and one variable I'm declaring. This is the instance variable declaration. To supply this value, I'm creating a one parameterized constructor. So this is the parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. So public stock keeper string name. This dot name equal to name. So that means I'll tell you what is meant by this keyword and all those things, but don't worry about that. As of now, just understand this is the constructor. So how can you say this is the constructor? Class name, constructor name is same. Those are the rules. So after this, we are going to discuss on the constructor only. So don't worry about that also. I'll deal with that. Constructor part also we are going to finish. And so then we have to create to manage album method. So manage album method you have to create. So we are managing. So the stock keeper is going to manage the album. So we just create so manage album. So function name is missing. Yeah, this is the function name. Okay, so this is the non-static method we created. Public void manage album. So album class, that reference variable, and album name, album artist, album price, album number of copies. So these are the parameters to that stock keeper is going to give when he is managing. So object reference dot. See this album object reference dot, that variable I am calling. So then I am assigning to this local variable, this parameter. So what is the difference between this one and this one? Nobody? So you don't know what is meant by this one and what is this one. Whether you know or not. Yes or no, Andy? What is, are you all in the class or you're in somewhere else?
No, sir.
Then just why you're so silent for that, just saying yes or no? Do you know all the parameters? First of all, basics, and basics is the, I want to stop these classes. I'm not interested at all. Basics are not there, completely nil. What you will do without basics? Yesterday also I told. So what is mean by this, and what is the parameters, how you will declare, how to consume parameters in the method body. How many times I need to repeat that? This is the parameter. This is the parameter for this method. But what about this? So class and reference variable. So this reference variable is going to refer. So it is going to refer the object reference of this class. So the object reference dot the variable. That means album class variable I am calling here. Why I am able to call here? Because it has a permission. So this has a public access modifier. This variable I am calling here.
Sir,
How you are
screen is
calling?
not visible, sir.
Screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how this is you are able to call, because this variable is having public access modifier. And how you can call non-static variables in another class? Object reference. So that class object reference. So that class object reference is album reference variable. Album reference variable dot name. That for this. So what I am doing here, whatever, when you call this method, you will give these values, right? These values you are going to give. This value I am assigning to that album name. See, this is the assignment operator. This value, whatever you give during calling this method, you will give value, right? That value will go and assign to this variable. And same artist value also, whatever, when you call this method, you will give value. That value will go and assign to album.artist. Same price also, album.price. So number of copies also, album.number of copies. That means when you call this method, the arguments you will pass, all those arguments will go and store in the album class object. Album class object, they will store. Okay? Album class object, they will store. So that is the methods and variable calling and assignment operator. How many times I need to tell assignment operator means what? The basics you are not catching. That's a bigger problem. I think you are not in the classes. How many times I need to tell this assignment operator? And so this is the object reference, right? The class, this is the class and the reference variable. So when you call a reference variable dot variable, this variable is album class variable. This is the variable. These variables I am calling in this another class. How I am calling? I'm using the object reference. Where is the object, you can ask? I'm going to give, when I call this method, I'm going to give this value. So what is the parameter syntax? So data type, variable name. Here also data type, variable name. That's a parameter syntax as I have given already. So parameterized methods creation time. When it comes to after all basics, you are going back again the 0 point. First point you are going. Then what can I do now here? And you don't know what are the parameters and what are the variables, instance variables. What I can teach you guys? Same again, first point I have to go and repeat the same thing. And how many times this I told this assignment operator means? And you should understand, right? If you don't understand, you are not asking also. And keeping us silent. I'll dissolve this batch. I don't want to teach. So really your batch is not good at all. I'm frustrated with your batch. So no response, not actively reading. And why I need to teach? If there is no response from your side. How do I know whether you understood or not? I already told several times. There is no change from your side. Okay. So then I'm calling album is managed by this stockkeeper. So I'm calling this name. So here, because see, this is the stockkeeper name. Even same variable name you have in the album class also. Same variable in two classes. But you are calling album class variables with that object reference. But current class variable, how you can call this instance variable? You have to use this dot name. This dot name. You have to use this dot name you have to use.